Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with the lesson number 8, that is public finance in India. In this the introduction part, functions of government, which include two main functions, obligatory function as well as optional function, meaning and nature of public finance, definition of public finance by two different economists. What is the difference between public finance and private finance? In structure of public finance, there are total 5 elements, that is public expenditure, public revenue, public debt, fiscal policy and financial administration. We had studied what is public expenditure, its role, what is the reason behind the increasing. I hope that you all have revised. I'll just give the glimpse of whatever was been studied. In definition introduction part, we got to know that public finance is an important branch of microeconomic. Okay, it is one of the most important branches. Okay. So what is public finance basically? Public finance is all about managing the finances of the public authorities or public bodies such as central government, state government, local self-government for carrying out their operations, which results in incurring money for providing subsidies, public utility services and welfare to the payments to the residents. So till now we got to know that whatever public is having public finance, this is having in this particular part we are having two words. Public means it is a collective for the individual living within an administrative territories. In economics it is used to signify the government, so over here the public means the government. Okay, so now what is finance? Finance means the income and expenditure, that is the revenue and spending of the government. Now why do they do why do why a government or why a country or economy needs public finance? So that for the economic development and growth of the economy. So what all services does the government provide? Now we got to know that government, that is the public, gets finance. Once the government gets finance, the revenue, okay, it does the spending. Now they spend on providing services like education, health, sanitation, transportation, infrastructure facilities, electricity, communication, foods, etc. Means this all services we are getting from the government. And how the government is arranging this all services? Once they receive money. And who gives them the money? The individual give them the money, the resident or the people of that particular economy. Now the basic sources of revenue, the basic sources of income to provide these services, whatever the services are like health, sanitation, transportation, infrastructure, electricity, communication, to provide this all services, income will be getting from the taxes, duties, fees, foreign aid, sales of goods and services, borrowing, creation of new money, etc. Now then we got to know about the structure. First definition was given by Hugh Dalson, wherein he has said that it is a study of, as we are going to study the government, so there is a fine line between political science and economics. Public finance is a part of political science subject as well as the economics. Okay, then we got to know about the public finance and private finance. Public finance is to offer maximum social advantage to the society, whereas public finance is completely opposite of it, where they fulfill their own interest. Okay, So this objectives we got to know: determination of expenditure, credit status, okay, right to print money. Public finance has right to print money, whereas private finance doesn't have. Their main focus is for the upliftment and development of in growth of the economy, whereas private finance mainly focuses on their own growth and development, on their own profit margin structure. We had total five of the elements, wherein public expenditure we got to know that, as the name itself suggests or tells us, that public expenditure refers to the expenses incurred by the public bodies, that is the government body, that is the central, state and local self government bodies, in order to fulfill the overall needs of the general public. The expenses are made in the connection to the investment in defense activities, healthcare, medical research, economic development, infrastructural development, provision of social security, and maintenance of the government. The two functions we studied, no, obligatory function and optional functions. They are included in the form of public expenditure. Now next thing we today we are going to analyze the next four things, four important things, that is the public revenue, public debt, fiscal policy and financial administration. Public revenue is a quite lengthy part. Okay, so what is public revenue? Public revenue is also called as government revenue. Now what is revenue? Revenue means income. It covers revenue generated or received by the government from various sources, that is tax revenue or non-tax revenue. Okay, tax revenue or non-tax revenue. In tax revenue, um, covers income tax, corporate tax, tax levied on import and export, excise duty, goods and services tax, etc. On the other hand, non-tax revenue includes income from fees, surplus of public sector undertaking, capital receipt, fines, penalties, gifts, grants, etc. Okay, you can see. Now let us see what is public debt. Public debt is also referred as government debt. Okay, it indicates the total outstanding liabilities, that is amount which a country owes to creditors, which can be individual, undertaking and other government. The creditors can be internal or external. Debt internal means debt borrowed from domestic lenders such as bank or financial institution within the territory. External means debt borrowed from international financial institution or government. Financial fiscal policy, these are the policy meant for the economic stabilization and growth. It plays a very important role in distributing the national income, so that minimum allocation of resources and maximum outcome we should get. Okay, now financial administration. Now we all of us know each and everything has institute, organization or administration. In the same way, financial administration is that portion of public finance which focuses on the administrative control, especially related to the technical issues like concerning and preparing of budget. Okay, how the things need to be, how the budgets need to be planned. If the budget is perfect, then it should be passed. Once it is passed, how it has been implemented, whether the implementation is seeking in an appropriate manner or not, whether it is providing benefit to the public or not. Okay, whether if there is chances of any loss. Okay, this all things, accounts and all dealings with the financial administration. Now let's see in detail. This was your introductory part, we can say. Public revenue. So public revenue means the aggregate collection of income which with the government through various sources. Public revenue holds the permanent position in the study of public finance, because without revenue, can government do spending? Can government do expenditure? No. If government will receive revenue, then only he can do, then only the government can spend on or do expenses. If revenue is only not there, can government do expenditure? No, it is not possible. So, for any spending, like for doing obligatory function or optional function, government require finance. Government requires revenue. Once the government requires revenue, then only it is possible for the government to fulfill the needs and desire, and to meet the expectation of the people living in that particular country. Now, so that is why it plays a very important, and it is a permanent, has a permanent position in the study of public finance. Okay, so this is necessary because public revenue rises due to public expenditure. There are two main sources of public revenue. First is first is the tax revenue, another one is non-tax revenue. First one is tax revenue and another one is non-tax revenue. Now in tax revenue, even we have other things they have not mentioned clearly, like we have earning of the state's commercial and industrial undertaking, fees, assessment, loans. Okay, so penalties, gifts, grants. From this are the sources of revenue for a government. Now, what are the taxes? In detail, we will study now. There are two definitions given in your text. First definition is given by Professor Tossing. He tells us that the essence of tax as distinguished from other charges by government is the absence of a direct quid pro quo between the taxpayer and public authority. Now, what is this? Quid pro quo is a Latin phrase which means a gift or a advantage that is given to someone in return for something they have done. Now, for example, government is doing something for the government. For the government is doing something for the people. What government will receive? Some money. Government will receive some income, some revenue. So this is called as Q pro quo. Okay, between the taxpayer, and it is between the taxpayer and the public authority, that is the government, now in other words, we can say in short and simple terms that we cannot refuse to pay tax on the ground that you do not use services. A rich man may be childless, but he has to pay tax spent on the schools. Okay, so whatever the government doesn't differentiate between people, government just tells this is the amount you need to pay, this amount of taxes, and you as an individual has to compulsorily pay those taxes. It is not like, for example, some people are not paying road taxes. Suppose I will tell, I am only, I'm not going to use road at all, so I'm not going to pay road tax. Is it so? Am I spending separately road tax on road tax? No, I'm not doing that. It is mandatory. Let's see in detail now. Next definition is given by Professor Seligman. A tax is a compulsory contribution. Now see what he is telling, a tax is a compulsory contribution from person to the government, who will give, people will give to the government without reference to special benefit conferred. Means return, we won't expect any kind of special benefits from the government. Now suppose I am paying tax to the government, it is not that government will listen to my problem and will give me benefit. It is not in that way. Okay, government will give us, government will give equally to people. Like government will spend on, as we already discussed, infrastructure, social facilities, health, education. Government will spend in general. It is upon us whether we require that facility and whether we are utilizing that thing or not. Okay. Now let us see what are the basic characteristics of taxes. There are four important things there that they have told in your text. First, it tells us that it is a compulsory payment. It is a compulsory payment. It is a compulsory contribution to the government, and every citizen of the country is legally bound. Legally, we have to, it is compulsory to pay the tax imposed upon him. Whatever tax government is imposing on an individual, it is very important and it is compulsory to pay those taxes. Okay. Now next thing we got to know that it is a major source of revenue to the government. If at all we individuals are paying taxes to the government, that tax that we have paid to the government, that is in the form of revenue or income for the government, right? It is, so it is a major source of revenue to the government. If any person doesn't pay a tax, he can be punished by the government. If at all I am not paying tax, then what will happen? Legal action will be taken against me. Okay. Second important point they have told over here, that tax is paid by a taxpayer to enable government to incur expenses in the common interest of the society. So what it tells us, that who pays tax? A taxpayer pays the tax. Okay. Now why, what is the reason behind paying the tax? So that government will spend on the growth and development of the society, like on infrastructural facilities, communication, transportation, road, okay, health, sanitation, education, what do you say, law and order. Government will spend on this thing. Okay. It is used for the common interest. The payment of tax by a person does not entitle him to receive any direct and proportionate benefit or services from the government in return of the tax. This, you can say, these characteristics are of the definition itself. Okay. So what is the third point tells us, that yes, we as an individual will pay tax, but it is not that we will receive direct benefits from the government. In the government will do for the common interest. Okay. Tax is imposed on income, property, or commodities and services. So, on what all tax have been imposed? Income tax, you might have heard, TDS. Your parents will be filing. Okay, or else if you all are earning more than 2.5 lakh, then even you all are bound to pay the income tax. Property tax means that is house tax. If your property is above 30 lakh, then you need to pay certain percentage in the form of property tax. Or commodity and services tax, that is just GST and CGST. Okay. So let us see further we have in detail. I hope that these characteristics you all have understood. Characteristics tells us that tax is the compulsory contribution. Government will use that revenue for the benefit of the people. Okay. If you all have understood, write Y in the chat box. It's there in the part of you should know. Adam Smith Canons of Taxation. In your text, there are total four parts given in detail. Okay, there are total nine canon. You can say, we can say. So the canon. Let's see in detail all four of them. Adam Smith, the founder of modern economics, propounded the following four canons of taxation. First canon is canon of equity or equality. Canon of equity or equality. Okay. Smith suggested that every person will pay the taxes to the government in proportion to his ability to pay. It means rich people should pay more tax compared to poor. Now, depending upon the earning of a person will pay the tax. That is why it is called as canon of equity or equality. If I am earning more, I will contribute more. If I am earning less, I will contribute, but I will contribute less amount. It is not that if suppose my annual income is 5 lakh, okay, and annual income is 5 lakh, I'll be contributing approx you can say 20,000 to the government, and my friend's income is 10 lakh annually. How much she will contribute? Exactly double of me, that is 40,000. Okay, so it is the name of equality. Rich people will pay more tax, poor people will pay less as compared to the poor people. Now next thing is about the canon of certainty. Now it certainty, the name itself tells us that it should be certain. According to the Smith, the taxpayer should know, the taxpayer should know. Taxpayer should know in advance how much tax he has to pay, at what time he has to pay the tax, and in what form the tax is to be paid to the government. Okay, so canon of certainty. So it is the right of a taxpayer to know all the details related to the taxes in advance. If at all the person is not knowing in advance, then will the person will be able to pay the tax to the government? No. So in advance only he should know how much, when, what, and in what form he need to clear the taxes. Next thing is about the canon of convenience. Now convenience means what? The name itself tells that it should be convenient for the people to pay. Okay, this canon tells us that every tax should be levied in such a manner and at such a time that it becomes convenient to the taxpayer. Now for example, farmer is having his seasonal productivity. Now, can a farmer pay off season tax? No. So, tax should be convenient. It should be in such a way that the taxpayer will be having a proper convenience to pay the taxes, to clear the taxes. He's having that much money. Okay, what time? Okay, canon of the economy. According to this canon, the cost of tax collection should be minimum. Cost of tax collection. Now government, we individuals are going to pay taxes to the government. What government will do? Government will collect the taxes. Now while collecting these taxes, government will spend some amount of money for the collection of taxes. So whatever government is paying, whatever cost will be there for the collection of taxes should be minimum, should be very very less. If a major portion, reason is that if a major portion of the tax proceeds is spent on the tax collection itself, then such a tax cannot be considered a good tax. If suppose it will be like such kind of situation, uh, if the bulk of the tax is spent on the collection, on its collection, okay, it will take out much out of the people's pocket. Okay, people will pay tax, people will pay, but bring very little into the state's pocket. Why? Because in the collection the government has spent more. People will give more, but less will be there in the government's pocket. The reason behind it is that government is spending more on the collection. So it is very very important that government should take this consideration, that he is spending very less in the collection, so that more is whatever is collected, maximum is there in the states, that is the government's pocket. Next important canons are canons of productivity, canons of elasticity, canon of simplicity, canon of variety, and canon on flexibility. Okay, I hope that this canon which was there in your you should know part is clear. If yes, then write Y in the chat box. Now let's see in detail types of taxes. Your next concept is about the types of taxes. There are two main types of taxes. Now, what is tax? In short, I will tell you again. To run a nation judicially, the government needs to collect tax from the eligible citizens. Paying tax to the local government is an integral part of everyone's life, no matter where we live in the world. Now, tax can be collected in any form, such as state tax, central government tax, direct tax, indirect tax, and many such other which we studied in the form of example. Okay, basically it is divided into two categories. First one is direct tax and second one is indirect tax. Now we are discussing taxes, types of taxes. In public revenue, in public revenue we had tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Still we are on tax revenue. We saw the two definition of tax revenue, characteristics of tax, canon principle of taxation by Adam Smith. Now we are on types of revenue. Now we are on types of taxes. Okay, so there are two important categories and two important types of taxes, that is direct tax and indirect tax. Now can you all tell me the first characteristics of tax? What is the first characteristics of tax? Is it mandatory or it is not mandatory? Is it mandatory to pay taxes? Yeah, it is mandatory. A tax is a mandatory fee or financial charge left by any government on an individual or an organization. Now, why do government collect tax? Can you all tell me the reason? Can you all tell me the reason why do a government collect taxes? What is the main reason or main purpose of revenue collection in the form of tax? Yes, for the development of the country by providing best facilities and infrastructure to the citizen of that particular country. Now, collected fund is then used to fund different public expenditure program. Okay, if at all one fails to pay the taxes or one refuses to do contribution, what will happen? What will happen if a person is denying or if a person fails, if a person is not contributing in the form of paying taxes to the government, what will happen to that person? Yes, that person will be legally punished or legal action will be taken that particular person. Now let us see direct taxes. The definition of direct taxes is hidden in the name itself, which implies that the tax is paid directly to the government by the taxpayer. Okay, the name itself tells us that it is directly paid to the government by the taxpayer. Now, what are the direct tax example? For example, income tax, wealth tax, property tax. These are the taxes that an taxpayer paid directly to the government. Okay. So, from the government's perspective, estimating tax earning from direct tax is relatively easy, and it's bear a direct correlation to the income or wealth of the registered taxpayer, because whatever data is been collected, suppose I am paying income tax, my things have been recorded by TDS. Okay, so a short few extra part I will be telling you all about the income tax which a person has to know. Okay, in detail they have not given in your text. What is income tax? Tax applicable in India can be primarily divided into two types, that is direct taxes and indirect taxes. Indirect taxes are duties levied on purchase on any types of goods and services, whereas direct taxes are levied on individuals earning as well as profit gained from sale or transfer of asset. IT, that is income tax, is categorized under direct tax. Okay, what is income tax? It is a percentage of one's income that he or she is liable to repay directly to the government of India. The money is collected by the Income Tax Department of India via TDS, that is tax deducted at source, TCS, that is tax collected at source, okay, and voluntary payment by taxpayer. The money is utilized for various government services such as building infrastructure, salary for central and state government employees. Okay, so I hope that you all understood till here what is income tax. Now, who can pay income tax? Individuals earning more than the income threshold of 2.5 lakh per annum and is under the 60 years of age has to pay taxes. Now suppose you all are earning approx 2 lakh per year per annum, then you are not supposed to pay taxes. If you all are earning beyond 2.5 lakhs, then you have to pay the taxes. Now there are different categories like income from salary, income from other sources, income from resident property, income from capital gain, like whatever capital you all have invested and all. Okay, income from business or self employment. So this was just a few extra information which was there in the part. Okay, now let us see the difference I have given in this form. In exam they might ask you all to write difference between direct tax and indirect tax. So you all have to write in this particular manner. It will be beneficial for you all to do so. Now what are indirect taxes? Indirect taxes are slightly different from direct taxes, and the collection method is also a bit different. These taxes are consumption based that are applied on goods and services when they are bought and sold. The indirect tax payment is received by the government from the seller of goods and services. The seller in turn passes the tax on the end user, that is the buyer of the goods and services. Okay, suppose I am the producer, my burden will be shifted from producer to another person. It is also called as impact and incident of tax. Thus, the name indirect tax as the end user of the goods and services. End user means of the final user, the consumer. Do not pay the tax directly to the government. I will not go and pay to the government like I have purchased big biscuit from the market. I am not going to go to the government department and tell I have purchased a biscuit and now take this tax. No, it is not so. It is directly included in the form of GST, CGST form. Okay, and when I am purchasing that biscuit, that means when I purchased that biscuit, I paid the tax to the government indirectly, not directly. Okay, uh, is there any confusion? Meaning it is direct tax, it is paid by the taxpayer on the income and property. Okay, it is paid on the burden of. Okay, it is levied on goods and services. Indirect tax is levied on goods and services. It is paid at the time of production or sale and purchase of a commodity or services. Now next thing is about the burden. The burden of tax in direct tax I'm talking about. The burden of tax is borne by the person, bear by the person on whom it is levied. It cannot be transferred. The burden of direct tax will not be transferred from one person to another. I am earning, I will pay my income tax. I am having my wealth, I am having my property, I will pay my tax. Whereas indirect tax is been transferred, can be shifted. The burden of indirect tax can be shifted by the taxpayer, that is producer, to other person or persons. Hence it is impact and incidents of tax are on different head, like from producer to consumer. Who will pay the tax? Consumer will be paying the tax as he is going to purchase the final product. Okay, now next thing, it is the evasion. Tax evasion is possible over here and it is more difficult. Inflation, direct tax helps in reducing the inflation. Okay, it contributes to inflation. Shiftability, can direct tax cannot be shifted to other person, indirect tax can be shifted to other person. Example of direct taxes are income tax, wealth tax, okay, security transaction tax. Whereas indirect tax example is GST, goods and service tax, okay, and it has replaced almost all the indirect taxes and custom duties. Okay, one term I wanted to explain, the incident and the impact. Now first I will tell you the impact of tax means. It means effect of a tax on production or consumption of a product. Means impact means effect of tax on production and consumption, whereas incidence means the incidence of tax refers to the extent to which an individual or organization suffer from the imposition of taxes. So indirect taxes, this is there, okay, and it can shift from person to person, but in direct tax it will not be shifted from person to person. Impact and incidence of direct tax falls on the same person in direct tax, and in indirect tax it can be shifted from the person to person. Okay, I hope this is clear. I hope direct and indirect tax is clear. If yes, then write y in the chat box. In short, okay, this is the conclusion. In short, tax revenue is charged on income earned by an individual or entity is called as dash. Tax that is charged on income earned by an individual is dash tax. It is direct tax or indirect tax, you need to identify. I repeat my question again. Tax revenue is charged on income earned by a person is direct tax or indirect tax. Yes, good, Joel. The answer is direct tax. And when the tax revenue is charged on the value of transaction of goods and services, it is which type of tax? Is it direct tax or indirect tax? Is it direct tax or indirect tax? It is indirect tax or non-tax revenue. Both are correct. On the other hand, okay, non-tax revenue is charged. Now one more difference I am going to tell you. Non-tax revenue is charged against the services provided by the government. It also includes interest charged on loans advanced by the government for various purpose. Okay, and it is compulsory to pay a part of income earned or generated and amount of goods and services consumed as tax. Okay, I hope that you all have understood till here. Now let's see in detail what are direct taxes and what are indirect taxes. Sorry, these are the examples of direct taxes and indirect taxes. Example, income tax. Example of direct taxes are income tax, capital gain tax, security transaction tax, requisite tax, and corporate tax. Indirect tax examples: sales tax, service tax. If you write no in your difference between or in your definition part, it will enhance your answer. Huh? Not there in your text. Custom duty, excise duty, and value added tax. Next thing is there in your do you know part. Do you know part? They have told three things: regressive tax, progressive tax, and proportional tax. It is very easy. First, I will tell you about direct taxes are further classified into three categories: This is there in the direct tax category. Direct tax, depending upon the rate of taxes. Proportional tax. First one is the proportional tax. When a tax is levied at the same and constant rate on the income is called proportional tax. Every person, means over here is the same tax. Flat tax is there for everyone. Same proportional tax means equal. Okay. Progressive tax. Progressive tax. The word itself tells us progress. A tax, the rate of which increases with increase in income is called progressive tax. In India, we have progressive tax system. In India, we have progressive tax system. Okay, for example, my income is more, I will pay more tax. If my income is less, I will pay lesser percentage of tax. Okay, India is practicing which tax in UPSC exam, in UPSC exam and other competitive exams. Such kind of question they might ask you. In India, which type of tax are we following? Which tax rate are we following? We are following progressive tax. Depending upon the income of the person, the tax rate, the person need to pay. Higher income of the people, the tax will be high. Proportional means equal. This means high. Now this is something different. This is completely opposite of progressive tax. Regressive tax. Regressive taxation, the larger the income of a taxpayer, the smaller is the portion of tax levied on him. Now suppose, another example I can tell you all over here, that I am earning more income. Okay, I will be paying less tax. But if I'm earning lesser income, I'll be paying more tax. You all understood? Vice versa. Takes a smaller share or percentage as income rises. Hope you all understood. This means equal. This means more my income, more the tax. Lesser my income, less the tax. Regressive means less income, more tax. Less income, more tax, more income, less tax. Clear up till here? Any doubt? Any doubt? So let us see the non-tax revenue. Non-tax revenue received by the government, administration, public enterprises, gifts, grants, etc. are called non-tax revenue. These sources are different than the taxes. Okay. For example, first one is the fees. Now we have education fee, we have road fees, we have fees for uh, late fee. Okay, UPSC examination fee, government competitive examination fees. Okay, so a tax is paid compulsory without any return services. What is tax? In tax, front person is not expecting anything in return from the government, because government is doing whatever is doing for the common interest. But in non-tax revenue, okay, once I pay the fee to the government, government is having that, is bound to give me services. So non-tax revenue, if I'm paying non-tax revenue, if I'm giving non-tax revenue, non-tax is the revenue source for the government, where government will provide us services in return for earning that particular money. For example, I am attending MPSC exam. Okay, so when I am attempting MPSC exam, I am going to pay certain amount of fees. Am I right? So whatever fees I am paying to the government, that will be the revenue of the government. But in return, I am eligible to attend that examination. That means in return, government is giving me service to of attending that examination. Understood? No? Second example we can take of fees only. I'm telling, of fees only I'm telling. Second example, toll naka, you have heard. Road tax, you have heard, toll naka, toll plaza. So for using that highway road, okay, four wheelers or are paying, or heavy vehicle are going to pay that road taxes. This is also non tax revenue. Why it is non tax revenue? For using that road, for passing through that road, I am going to pay at toll plaza. Whatever money that toll plaza person is earning, that is the government's revenue. And government is providing what service to me? To go through that route. Okay, so I hope that fees part is clear, and non-tax revenue part is also clear. Non-tax revenue are this revenue, okay, which government earns and provides its services to the specific people. Okay, electricity fee, MSCB, government power supply I'm getting at my home. Okay, so what I'm doing, I am paying, government is giving me electricity power supply, I am paying the bill. Whatever bill is there, that is in which government's department, that is the revenue. Next example, can you all tell me? For water supply, okay, electricity power supply, examination fees, government exam, competitive exam fee, education fee. What are these? These are all included in this. I hope that this term is clear. If you have understood what is non-tax revenue, then we can move ahead. Non-tax revenue are the sources of revenue which government receives from the citizen of India, and in return government will provide them specific service as well. Okay, in short. So a tax is paid, fees is paid in return for certain specific service rendered by government. Rendered means what? Given by government. For example, education fee, registration fee, etc. Now, price of public goods and services. Modern governments sell various types of commodities and services to the citizen. A price is a payment made by the citizen to the government. Okay, what is price over here? Price means it is the amount that we individuals, we citizens are going to pay to the government. Why we are going to pay to the government? Because government is going to provide us with certain goods and services. Okay, for example, railway fare. I am going to pay for the ticket, government is going to allow me to travel. Okay, if I'm traveling without ticket, what will happen? I need to pay fine or penalties. Okay, for example, railway fares, postal charges. Okay, the government is providing us services or goods, and we are paying to the government. Now, special assessment, the payment made by the citizen of a particular locality in exchange for certain special facilities given to them by their authorities is known as special assessment. Now, for example, in my area, our area politician is improving the road. Okay, infrastructure is providing us good water facility, providing us the has built some towers and all. So when this particular thing is taking place in my area by the government, I am going to pay to the government, and government is going to give me services. So that is why it is special assessment. For example, local bodies can levy a special tax on the citizen of a particular area where extra facilities of roads or energy water supply are provided. Fines and penalties. The government impose fine and penalties on those who violate the law. The objective of this is not to earn income, but to discourage the violation of law. Okay, fines for violating traffic rules. Now, if at all you are not carrying proper papers and all, what will happen? Government will put fines on you. We will study in this. We'll continue this part in the next lecture. Okay.